You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards, funky balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho. The Ford, Tip and Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas. Join the tribe and just vibe, free 99. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, back. Welcome everybody to episode number one of the podcast. I'm your host Daniel Granada, and alongside me as a ABD. How are you doing, sir?
Man, you jinxed us. You jinxed us. I texted you, you texted me, and we celebrated early, and we walk away with a tie, and now it's on to PSG, apparently. So we'll have to see. And Robita saying Messi is pissed off. I imagine everybody is pissed off. I mean, we had that.
We had it. There's no other way to put it. We had it.
Right here.
Go
in the palm of our hands.
And the thing is, I feel like it really sucks because if before the game you say you end up with a 2-2 draw against Palmeiras, I think everybody's happy because everybody's expecting a loss. I predicted a draw, and I said I'm happy with the draw. But going up 2-0 and then giving up 2 late goals, man, that is absolutely brutal. I wanted PSG. I didn't want them this way. I felt really good about this game up until the very end. A lot of bright spots throughout the game. And then, obviously, a lot of negative to talk about now because 15 minutes ago, I thought today we were about to have a fun-ass show. We were going to talk about all the good stuff, the players that stood out, and all of a sudden, things just I don't even know what happened, to be honest with you. Noah Allen toe pokes it accidentally and scores. And then a bad clearance at the end leads to a goal where, like, the guy just came up on it and just blasted it. There was nothing. We thought he was frozen. Like, there's nothing he could do. Like, this was rough, man.
Yeah, listen, it was rough to watch. That second goal literally took the life out of me. I just saw it, and I'm like this the whole time. Because I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe. And Esteban Dito is gassed. Bring on PSG.
I think that Inter Miami has made, and I know that right now it doesn't feel it because of the way we lost. And yes, and we had opportunities to win. Fafa had a clear opportunity, couldn't handle the ball. That first touch was really bad.
So bad.
But oh man, Redondo. I know everybody talks crap about Redondo, but Redondo. The way we were playing the counter, we were playing that low block, playing the counter. But when we held possession and we built up, it was working. We would beat the pressure, and Redondo has the technical abilities to kind of hold possession and just play a little bit of tiki-taka in the midfield. Because there was a lot of times where we just held possession and we were just passing it back and forth from left to right. We were horizontally, not necessarily vertical. Just, hey, if we don't have anything, let's keep going until something opens up. And Redondo does that well. And I thought that Redondo going down hurt also just because we couldn't hold the ball as well in the midfield. The midfield kind of disappeared once he was gone. Once he was gone, it was Palmeiras was off to the races. We didn't hold possession anymore. And I don't know. It's just tough, man. It's tough. And I think that a lot of people, look, I was looking at the comments and then I started talking, a minute and a half, 2 minutes ago. And I think I've gotten over 100 comments in the comment section since then that I won't be able to scroll up and read all of them. But obviously everybody has something to say because it could have been such a special moment and it sucks. It sucks.
Well, I mean, look at this. Mr. Spider Pig is saying terrible subs, but then 2 messages later, V Vega wants to give Mascherano a raise. So, I mean, I imagine that it was the subs that just, played poorly. Kira Kane says Mascherano, hats off to him. You don't think that maybe because Segovia came off that we lost a little bit of continuity in the midfield? Your microphone is up, by the way, but I think that maybe when Segovia came off, we lost a little bit of that organization in the middle of the pitch.
I think Segovia had a pretty good game. He was, like we said, he plays best centrally, and he was switching off with Suarez off a lot. He was going central, Suarez was going out wide. And Redondo, I thought was giving us a lot in the center of the pitch also. I didn't think that the subs were necessarily bad. It's just bad luck, honestly. That poor clearance by Falcon, like, usually we would give him credit for getting the ball, like winning that aerial duel, but he wasn't able to clear it. He kind of hit it down. And then Noah Allen, the way he kind of just poked it, and it ended up going in our own net. Like, it's just he's bad luck. He's bad luck.
He's trying his best to recover, but I don't know if that was on Falcon for allowing the pass to get in. Jay Smudge is saying he has no other options for subs. You definitely saw that when you saw Baltasar come in the game.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't blame the subs. I wouldn't blame the subs.
What do you mean? Fafa literally had an opportunity right in front of goal.
I wouldn't blame Mascherano's substitute selections.
Okay, yes, that's okay. All right, that makes sense.
I wouldn't blame Mascherano for his substitutes.
Oh, look at this. Hold on. PSG fan in the house says we're ready with a little cutesy face. I see you.
Well, that's what I wanted. I wanted PSG, so I got what I wanted. I'm sure that it's going to be an interesting week leading up to it, but that's kind of what I wanted.
This is where we kind of have to sit, though, Danny, because I think we're kind of just knee jerking here. And Badger Mooring with the super slam here says we qualified. We still have more games to play and haven't been beat. Disappointed right now, but very proud. And there's a lot of comments like this in the chat.
Shout out to Badger. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, much appreciated, Badger. And I think we kind of need to look at this in a little bit more of a positive light, I guess. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Listen, Mr. Spider Pig's bringing it right back to you, PSG fan. I didn't hear.
I'll be right back.
Okay. And so Mr. Spider Pig saying PSG, bring it on. And look, go fish says last 20 minutes we lost every 50-50 head and every second ball. And this is I think the comment that sort of sums it up, right? Brian Fink here is saying proud and frustrated. It's a weird place to sit in because we were leading in this game and it seemed like we were leading pretty handedly. But then all of a sudden what ends up happening is we take there's a lot of issues in terms of just the fatigue set in. We didn't have no, Danny is not upset, V Vega. He's trying to fix what's going on here. Dennis Lopez saying, sorry, Chris, there's very little positive about this game. I disagree, Dennis.
I think there's
I disagree big time.
Absolutely. We were the better team today.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you,
who would have guessed that before the game?
Yeah, I'll tell you, tactical manager is I'm assuming he's pretty happy right now.
Oh my god! The last tweet that he sent out was "ha ha ha f Miami." Is basically that was his tweet.
His 100+ year club almost lost to a 5-year club,
right?
With guys that are homegrowns.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a frustrating result. But I am proud of this team. A lot of cramping, absolutely. I think Redondo coming off, I thought is being underplayed as a big change because he was helping hold the possession whenever we needed that. Inter Miami just so they can avoid Atlanta Saturday. Yes, Tommy, we did. At that Atlanta game on Saturday has been postponed. We will be playing on Sunday. I think it is, right? This is Sunday against PSG.
I believe so. I believe it is Sunday. It is going to be in Atlanta. So for those of you that were waiting for the Atlanta game in Atlanta, you guys can go watch Messi beat up PSG real quick.
No, the game was going to be here. The game was supposed to be in Miami.
No, I'm talking about if they want to still see Inter Miami, they can go watch it at Atlanta. It's going to be in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. So
It
I
hurts
guess
though, Danny. This hurts. This hurts, man.
Well, because a draw a lot of times works that way, right? The team that
Ugh.
gives up the win at the end is the one that kind of feels like it's a loss. But again, taking a step back, and I understand that it's very difficult right now because it's raw. It's just happened. We're very emotional because we thought we had the win. But taking a step back, if I tell you this morning, hey, we're gonna draw with Palmeiras 2-2, I think you take that. You're like, whoa, that's pretty good. Absolutely.
I would have said yes, but I predicted a win. So I would have said yes, that's fine, I guess. But I predicted a win. And shout out to the Super Slammer here. We got Thuck Fung out here in the Super Slammers. Bang! Bang! Says Miami's going to show Milan who the real Inter is. Ooh, that would be a nice little matchup.
Well, I mean, yeah, because Inter Milan got their ass kicked 5-0 by PSG in the Champions League final.
Ooh.
So I think that's what he's referring to.
Nice. I can't wait for that.
Oh,
I can't
man.
wait for PSG.
I mean, like I said, and maybe I'll live to regret it because maybe we'll lose 5-0 also. Who knows? I'm sure from now till Sunday, I'll be predicting a draw that goes to penalties. I don't know. That's usually how things go. But let's start how we usually do, atmosphere in the stadium. I was on with Solana this morning, Cafecito with the hair-ons, if you guys missed it. We were going back and forth about the attendance and all that other stuff. But one thing he said is that he heard that La Familia was going to boycott today. It didn't look like they boycotted.
Yeah.
It looked like they figured out how to get together. So I'm not sure where he got that from, but it didn't look like they ended up boycotting. It looked like they showed up. Not in huge numbers, I guess. I mean, obviously it's not looking like Boca when they went into Hard Rock, but they were represented. What did you think of the atmosphere overall? Because I mean, they were outnumbered by Palmeiras fans.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there was a shot that they showed in the stadium where it was just white and green all over the place. And shout out to Badger Mooring again with the Super Slam here.
Oh, my fault.
It's all good. Says God planned Messi to play PSG. It was fate.
I'm excited for it, man.
Like I said, look, dude, I think where were we? What were we going the atmosphere in terms of like the fans, Palmeiras outnumbered us big time. But
yeah,
it's nice
we
to
knew
see
that was gonna happen.
It's nice to see that La Familia had like a section right behind one of the goals. That was really nice to see. I don't know if they sanctioned it off or something, or they got together to get them. But that was good. That was a really good show out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm still having a hard time, man. I really thought that this episode was going to be I was ready to talk a lot of shit, if I'm being quite honest with you. I was ready to talk a lot of shit.
So was I. Oh, so was I. Are you kidding me?
So possession, Miami had 54% possession.
It feels depressing what we're doing right now. Depressing.
They had more big chances. They had 3 big chances. Let me see if I can see how many shots on target. We had 3 shots on target. They had 7. But I feel like we had a lot of opportunities in the first half. There was a ball by Segovia coming down the right side where he crossed it over to Suarez, and I thought Suarez should have gotten a good shot off that should have been a goal. Suarez from 5 years ago scores on something like that. Like I felt like we had opportunities. We just didn't capitalize on them. And as they say, el que no mete gol los voy a meter. And it's kind of what happened, right? You don't score your goals. You watch somebody else score them. And that's ultimately what happened because we had a chance to put this game away. We were the much better side for 80 minutes, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mike V is here preaching to the choir. Mascherano on the live saying he feels strange because he is happy and pissed.
Absolutely. And I think that's
how we feel. Yes.
Because you're happy because who expected Miami to come out of the group? We said that we wanted them to. We saw a path in which they could, right? We were like, well, they could do it. They could get 4 points and get out of the group. They ended up with 5 points. Like we thought that they could do it, but most people weren't predicting that. Most people had them in last place. When I was looking for Porto fans or media to get on to preview that game, a peek behind the curtain. What we do is we usually go ahead and we listen to some podcasts or whatnot from those people that we want to have on, want to see if they are at all entertaining and if we think we could vibe with them. And I watched a couple, and they all had Inter Miami because I watched their Club World Cup previews or whatever. They all had them in last place.
Yes.
Nobody thought Inter Miami was going to possibly win this group. Up until 20, 25 minutes ago, Inter Miami was going to win this group. Nobody had us there. 7
points.
Now, what happens against PSG, I don't know. But we got out. We set the bar here, right? You had to get out of the group, and it's a success. They got out of the group. It is now a success. And not only did they get out of the group, they did not lose a game.
Yeah.
And if you talk to most people had them losing. Like,
by 10 points.
No,
by 10 points each game.
Al-Ali, shout out to Franco Panizo, and I forgot his co-host name, had us getting our ass kicked. No chance. Porto, oh, please. Not Franco. I didn't listen to him for that show, but other people that I listened to, no chance. We boom, we won that game. This one, I saw some comments on YouTube. They're like, oh, my God, I wish I could go back. I'm not going to read it, but it's like, oh, Palmeiras is another animal.
It's a different beast. They're going to destroy us.
Yeah. I wonder how they felt by minute 80. Like, this team has good players. They are now finally starting to gel. Now, when we go back to MLS, which is a conversation we'll have once this tournament's over, does it translate to the MLS? I don't know. I mean, because all of a sudden people are going to be playing that low block against us again, and we haven't really seen it. Like, we didn't see it today. We said the weakness. If for those of you that didn't watch, you should have watched the preview show with Chris and the Brazilian journalist, because he said our weakness for
is the pace.
What the fuck? I just blank. Palmeiras. Yes, the center backs are slow. Put in some speedy players. How did we score our first goal? Allende. That's why we bring in these guests, because they know the team better than anybody else. He told us, hey, our center backs, slow as hell. You could beat us on the counter. Guess what we did? We beat you on the counter. And
I probably could have chat GPT'd something about Palmeiras and wouldn't have found that out.
So,
and then the first goal, literally, Allende blows somebody's calf out.
Yeah, no. And Luis Suarez, well, I mean, let's go in order, but Luis Suarez, that goal, all by himself. By himself. For everybody that was hoping that Obando would start, Luis Suarez, even though he blew a chance also in the first half that passed from Segovia. But
that's what I was going to mention. Go ahead, Danny. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that he had his moments where you could left your head with your head scratching, but he also had some bright moments. That goal, that Allende goal, man, that chest pass to Allende, man, I can't believe Dennis. Was it Dennis that said that there was no positives? So many positives in this game.
For all of you that wanted Suarez benched for Obando or whoever,
he's probably man of the match today.
Absolutely, and he's furious because he got off the bench. He got to the bench when we were up 2-0. There's no one else more disappointed than Luis Suarez. I bet you.
Yeah, man. All right. So I guess let's try to reel it in now. I think we've let out our initial emotions out, and we'll try to get to as many comments as possible as we go through this.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned how Luis Suarez would have gotten that Segovia pass if he was, 5 years younger, but he was like 10 years younger on the goal that he scored. So I bet
he stumbled his way through it. But the way he split those defenders, man, that was so nice.
It was. So are we gonna go in order? Like, I'm so mad. I kind of want to punch the camera in the face like that, punch the camera, and then just leave, like bullets. I show speed, because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. And I told Chris earlier today, it's like, maybe we should live stream this game.
Yeah.
And then as we were up 2-0, I was like, damn, I wish we would have live streamed the game. And then I comment that to Chris. I'm like, yo, we should have live streamed this game. And then
I texted you jinxed us. and then you jinxed us.
Yeah. Oh man.
So, do you have the starting lineup up, or
Yeah,
did you?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, yeah. I
all
got
right.
it. I got it. Yeah,
So let's
I'm
go
putting it
through
up
the
right now.
starting lineup, because that, to me, I felt kind of weird about this, guys. And for those of you on audio, sorry, but we'll paint the picture. We got Ustadi in goal, which I was thinking to myself, like, imagine how Calendar feels, how much hype this thing is getting, and he got injured and he's not able to play or compete for the position. Whatever. We'll talk about that another day. Back four, we got Noah Allen playing left back starting, Facon and Aviles as your center backs, Chelo Weigant as your right back. I did not place a bet, guys. I promise. I should have, but I didn't. And then the midfield, we have sort of like a four in the middle. We got Segovia left wing, Busquets and Redondo playing the double pivot deal, and then Allende playing the right midfield. And then up top, we got Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi.
Yes.
Now, I'll just start off myself. I didn't like Redondo starting. I didn't like it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And I wanted Benha. That's what I wanted.
But the way we played today, we weren't necessarily pressing them high,
Yeah,
which is where I
that
think
makes
Kiramaki shines. And the way we were holding the ball, right, because we were playing that low block, we were countering when we could. But when we held possession, we played out of the back. We were playing that tiki-taka, and Redondo was contributing. Man, I want to give the back line, Busquets, Redondo, Segovia, so much credit, because we were getting so much pressure, but playing through it so nicely. And as I'm watching, even Noah Allen is going ahead, one touch. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, man, this team is finally starting to gel. We're about halfway through the season, and they're starting to gel. Now, again, we'll have that conversation whenever this tournament's over. I don't know if it's going to translate to MLS, but this team is finally starting to put it together. And this is the reason you don't fire Mascherano early, because you have to give him and the team a chance to gel and build some chemistry.
Well, I mean, look at what AZ Rebellion is saying. MLS roster rules, man. Like, this is where depth could have made a big difference. I mean, we'll get into that discussion maybe sometime, like on an off week.
But like, let's think about it. We were missing Yannick Bright. If Redondo comes off and Yannick Bright comes on, like, yeah, MLS roster rules and everything, I still think we're in a pretty good a place with the current roster. Like, our roster, I know it isn't the most expensive, but this is a solid roster.
And Pedri, you've been behaving this whole show. Why you got to jump out like that? Behave, Pedri. Come on.
Who are we crapping on?
I don't know, but he's not. Now he's starting to act out. And Ricker is saying, MLS, you better be paying attention. I mean, we'll get into that someday.
Right, but the reason we said that we would probably do better in this tournament than we have in the MLS regular season is because teams aren't necessarily parking the bus against us like they do in the MLS. And you saw it today. I forgot the guy's name that was with you last Friday to preview the game, but he said our weakness is we have a very slow backline. Yeah. And even with that, they kept pushing up because they didn't respect the speed of Messi and Suarez. So all we had was Allende, and Allende luckily he made them pay. And he had one or two other opportunities like that. I know there was one for sure that went wide left, but he caught them a couple times.
Yes. Xavier saying, if I didn't say PSG, but instead said we'd be playing the team that only beat Seattle 2-0 and lost to Botafogo in a stadium that we're super familiar with, you wouldn't take it?
Absolutely, Xavier. I love that. Great point, Xavier. Unfortunately, we know the name, and we know what they're capable of, and we know the storyline with Messi. And I don't think the players on PSG are going to give a crap as much as the fans, but it's still an interesting storyline. And I think PSG is going to come out very serious.
We'll leave that with a preview. And we'll ask you at the end of this show what you guys want for a preview. But Danny, what do you think? What do you think about this starting 11?
I was happy with it when I saw Jordi Alba and didn't start at left back. I figured that he's still not 100%. Yeah. So I was okay with that. I love Noah Allen as our left back, even our center back. Falcon, I thought has had a good tournament so far. I thought he had a good game today. Outside of that poor clearance, I thought he's had good. Toto Aviles played well. When I saw this starting lineup, considering the fact Jordi Alba isn't healthy, Frey is injured, Who else? Bright is injured. Like, given all the injuries, could you, outside of, I guess you said you'd rather see Kremaki, outside of the Kremaki, would there be any other thing that you would want to see instead of this? Because I felt like this was the best possible 11 with the players that we had available.
Well, it's a weird place because David Ruiz is also planning on coming back at some point.
You can't put David Ruiz, that is going to be rusty and hasn't played all year, randomly drop him in to the Club World Cup against Palmeiras or now PSG. Like, you can't. I mean,
you're saying that, but Mascherano literally dropped Baltasar Rodriguez. Baltasar Rodriguez was on the pitch while we got scored on.
Yeah, but it wasn't his fault. But yeah, well, outside of,
to be honest,
outside of you saying Kremaki over Redondo, which I like that Redondo was starting, but outside of you, that there was nothing else that you disliked, because I thought this starting 11 was the best starting 11 possible.
No, because everything was good for me.
Yeah, because I knew that we couldn't play that crash, high press against them. I didn't expect us to do that, and if we're not doing that, Kremaki shouldn't be starting. So I was good with Redondo being in the middle of the pitch. Like I said, the way we played out of that pressure, we played through the middle, Busquets, Redondo connecting with Segovia and Messi. I really was really impressed with the ball movement and the way they handled the pressure that Palmeiras threw their way. I was really pleased with everything.
Well, and I want to mention here, because Pedri is saying even Chelo was great, but these bias of average American guys. Listen, Chelo was good. Chelo's always been pretty consistent. Like, he's not great, but he's always been pretty consistent. I'll take that. So you like the starting lineup then?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's run down this, shall we? How did you feel in the beginning of the game before we even get to the goals? How did you feel in the beginning how the pace was? It was sort of a back and forth, wheeling and dealing on both sides. How did you feel like watching the game up until the goal? Because we scored in the 16th minute.
Yeah, no, I like the pace. I like that Miami was playing back a bit, and whenever they held possession, they weren't necessarily playing direct. They were, like I said, playing that tiki-taka. If they don't have the ball, they can't affect us. And I also like that, what was the guy's, man, I keep forgetting your guest's name, but the guy that was with you said they have an issue scoring. Estevao, even though he's a big name, he's 18-year-old, he's signed to Chelsea, he still can't consistently score. They don't have a consistent striker.
Gustavo.
Facundo Torres isn't a consistent finisher either. So you play a low block against a team that has a hard time scoring as it is.
Yeah.
And, you feel pretty good about your chances. So the way we started off, I thought was great. I thought it was great. And when we scored, I felt really great, because I still thought that Palmeiras was figure out a way to score one. But at that point, I think that we don't lose. And even if we lose, I don't think we lose by a lot. And even if Al-Ali, because I was still trying to play that game, right? Because Al-Ali scored 4 times today. That game ended 4-4, I think. Like, that was an
entertaining game.
Yeah, but I was keeping the score, track of the score. And I kept thinking, because if Al-Ali wins, we might not make it out of the group. So I was just, when I saw that first goal, I was just happy, because I felt like, okay, we're in the driver's seat right now. Not so much, I wasn't thinking about winning the group. I was thinking, let's make it to the knockout rounds.
Yeah. I mean, we had it, right? I mean, in the beginning of the game, the way that I saw, we were handling the ball pretty well. There wasn't anything sort of give and take, but we were attacking. You know what I noticed in the beginning of the game? Palmeiras loved to switch the plays on us, switch sides of play, go from one side to the other, exhausting our players on defense. But we were attacking pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and Sergio saying that he was thinking about winning the group. I wasn't. I didn't start thinking about that until after we scored the second goal.
Yeah.
When we scored the second goal, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but that's when I started thinking, like, oh, man, we're going to win this group. But before that, I was like, look, if we draw 1-1, I just want to make sure we get to the group out of the group stages, because I felt like that was the ultimate, not the ultimate goal, but that was what we would feel is a success. Now everything else is just, as they say, was it the cherry on top? Anything else is just extra. But that's what we wanted. We wanted at a minimum get out of the group, and we did that.
Sapo R is saying in Brazil, everyone's making fun of Palmeiras. I'd be making fun of them too. They almost lost to an Inter Miami team that's 5 years old.
So should you be making fun of Palmeiras or should you be giving credit to Inter Miami? And I mean that as just a general question. What do you think?
I mean, I think that the football,
Globally.
I think that the football purists, right, that are like Pedri Potter, like, oh, America sucks and everything American sucks. MLS soccer sucks. Those people, which are the majority, are going to be making fun of Palmeiras because they're held to like this higher standard since apparently like Inter Miami and America sucks in life. So
I think that after the last 3 games, drawing and playing a very good second half against the best team in Africa, beating a pretty decent Porto squad, first time we beat a European squad, and then taking Palmeiras to the 80th minute up by 2 goals, I think people are giving Inter Miami credit.
And you know what the crazy thing is, Danny, is that Palmeiras is going to play Botafogo. So, like, regardless, Brazilians are going to be happy because one of the 2 Brazilian teams are going to move on after that.
I don't think people think about it like we do with the MLS. With the MLS, was such an inferior league in everybody's eyes. They were like, all right, if LAFC's in there, I'm rooting for LAFC. Seattle, I'm rooting for Seattle. But those people, they're not rooting for each other.
And shout out to Walter, MVP right here. Says hit the like button. Only 61 likes with 300 people in the room. What are you guys doing, guys? Just scroll down, press the like button real quick. Do us that favor, and thank you in advance.
And Messi versus PSG. This is what I wanted since before the tournament started. I honestly thought that it would be difficult to get there, but we're here, and man, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And it's all the way on Sunday. Today's Monday. We got 6 days to go, but it's going to be a fun week of talking about Inter Miami, PSG, Messi. And by the way, happy early birthday to Messi.
Yes, and happy early birthday to him. And we'll start off the breakdown, I guess, with the Tadeo Allende goal. Perfect pass from Luis Suarez. For those of you that say he doesn't contribute, well, wasn't that Luis Suarez that made the pass? But Redondo saw Suarez.
Redondo cleared the ball and sent it over to the middle of the pitch where Suarez received the ball with his chest and got it over to Allende. And Allende was off to the races. And I remember as soon as I saw that he was off to the races and there was nobody in front of him, I immediately remembered the preview that you did. And the guy's like, our center backs are slow. And I was like, oh, nobody's going to catch him. You got to beat the keeper. You please beat the keeper. And man, that was such a fun moment because at that point, you're up 1-0. That was nice.
It was. And Tadeo Allende literally blasted off past everybody. Murillo Cerqueira blew his leg out. Literally deflated as Allende was on his way to goal.
I think he strained his hamstring, was it?
Strained something, and then he was out for the count. And Mitch is saying here, what timeline are we living in that Messi is going to play PSG after leaving PSG to come to MLS? This shit is pure cinema. I hope he lets out his demons.
I mean, look, sports have such a beautiful way of working out. Like, I remember I was talking to my wife about how sports just have a funny way of working out. Like, a coach leaves a team, he'll play that team in the finals the next year. Like, it's just the way it happens with the Bucks and the Raiders in 2002, and it just happens that way. I remember even when Messi played his first game for Inter Miami against Cruz Azul, he came in as a sub. And I remember when I saw it, I thought it was such an interesting, fun coincidence that he checked in for Kremaki. So you see that sign go up. And in green, you have the number 10 because Messi's coming in. And in red, you have the number 30 because that's what the number that Kremaki wears. But that's also the number that he wore in PSG. So I felt like, man, like sports are just so beautiful. The way that just the little things, the coincidences. It's just
Xavier Pennies is saying Danny thinks we live in a simulation like the Matrix.
Look, I'm telling you, the sports just have a funny way of going.
And, you know, Thuck Fung is saying, I think PSG is a better matchup for us than Botafogo anyway. It could be.
That Botafogo Botafogo game against PSG. Botafogo scored, granted, but once they scored, they just defended for their lives. So if they don't score first, I don't know how that game ends up.
And shout out to Alejandro. It's been a while since we've seen him around here. Super Slam 199. And he says, it is time to take care of the Toxic X PSG. You know what the Toxic X PSG is? And I can't find it. Did I not save it? I didn't save Kenzie's thing.
You never put it up.
Oh man. All right, keep going, Danny, because I need to put this up.
All right. Well, I just looked and Luis Suarez got man of the match officially. So there's that. Well, what I was going to look, and I don't know, we're still going through the game, but something that I want to look at real quick, if you just give me a second. So at the moment, Inter Miami is going to play PSG on Sunday. If they win and things stay as they are in group, I forgot what group that is, I guess C or D, we play either against Flamenco or Benfica. And then if we were to make it somehow past PSG and that team, which I know is a crazy hypothetical, I'm just having fun here, okay? We are on the same side of the bracket as Real Madrid. Could you imagine Messi playing against PSG and then in a semifinal against Real Madrid?
That would be wild.
That would be so awesome. So awesome. Playing against PSG and then against Madrid. Oh, man. This would be just chef's kiss.
It would be fantastic. So that was the first goal, Danny. Tadeo Allende scores the goal, puts us ahead. How were you feeling after that? Because
like I said, I was thinking that we were in the driver's seat. Maybe we won't win, but we will at least draw. And if we lose, we're not going to lose by more than one. So we still should make it out of the group. That's literally where my head was at. Like, okay, even if somehow they come back and they score 2 and we lose by 1, we're still good. We should still make it to the knockout round. That's where my mind was at after that initial goal. Did you freeze?
And so at that point at halftime, how'd you feel?
At halftime, I felt good because we had created a lot of chances. I thought we looked the better side. I thought Luis Suarez blew up a golden opportunity that Segovia had given him. I think Allende also had an opportunity where he went wide left. I just thought, all in all, like we had opportunities to score more goals. We just didn't convert, but we were looking like the much better side.
I felt like by the time that we hit the halftime, I felt like we were in control. Batata Manhosa says, hello, I'm from Brazil. Send me a hello for me. Batata Manhosa. Shout out to you. Much appreciated. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Ustari had a big save also. I see that.
Yes, he did. Out there. Yeah. So, I mean, at halftime, you're saying you felt pretty good. I felt pretty good because we were in the driver's seat for the most part. We were doing well with the ball. We were controlling the ball. We were playing the right way against the team like Botafogo. I mean, there was a point where there was just so much space for players, and they were able to play very comfortably with each other. There wasn't much pressure coming from Palmeiras' side. So I felt pretty comfortable with the way that we were up until we hit halftime. I really thought that we were going to do some big things coming out in the half.
Okay, so the second half got started, and they immediately, in the first 10 seconds, had a golden opportunity.
Yes, they did.
And I got shook for a moment there.
And but now was that off the corner? Was that the play that came off the corner, or was that the fumble that was in?
That was straight off the opening kick of the second half.
Yeah,
they played it right up the gut, and Facundo Torres, I believe, was the one that had that opportunity, and I believe that's the one that Wegan slid and saved.
That is the one that Chelo Wegan did slide and save. Thuck Fung is saying, Danny, we dodged the bullet. Palmeiras would now face Bayern
if they beat Botafogo.
Ah, I see. Yeah, Sander is saying here, I think Cello blocked it.
Yeah. So, and Cello is another one that had a good game. Cello had a good game. Who didn't have a good game today?
I mean, we'll get to that when we get to the Que Penas.
Okay, yeah.
When we get to the Que Penas, for sure. So we started the half, right? You got a little shook. Actually, Facundo Torres comes out of the game at around the 55th minute. So there goes that threat that you were just talking about. And at that point, we're still building pretty well. We're working it from the outside. We also have Segovia that's playing extremely well with Messi, because you start to see that in the midfield, we start building things up. Shout out to Solana. Evening. Hope you enjoyed the game. Solana is saying Palmeiras faces Botafogo. That's yes, and we will be facing PSG.
Yes.
How crazy is that, huh? I mean, it's so crazy. It's bittersweet saying that, right? Because like we had this in the bag. To be out of the group as clear-cut winners with 7 points feels better than where we're sitting right now, but we're still sitting at a good place where nobody expected us to be sitting in.
I know I'm wearing the Believe shirt. I know that I respect the hell. I'm so proud of the way this team has performed these 3 games. But, and I know we're still going through the game, but just a question that came to me. Do you feel like this team has any chance of actually winning this tournament?
I mean, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you, fuck yeah.
Okay. Well,
if you ask me, I'm going to tell you, fuck yeah. Fuck that.
I don't think that this team can go out and win the tournament. So that's why I'd rather them just go out. Like people are like, oh, let's Botafogo is the easier out. Give me the best team. Give me the absolute best. Because one, if we lose, F it. We're playing with house money.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to beat PSG. We're not even supposed to be competitive with PSG. Give me the best team. And if we make it a competitive game, we look good. And if we beat them, then I believe. Because if we beat PSG on Sunday, we could win it all. Because that's the best that this tournament has to offer, apparently.
Apparently.
So that's why I wanted PSG. Again, do I think we'll beat them? Not necessarily. Maybe I'll convince myself from now to then, but not necessarily. But if we somehow do beat them, at that point, you're like, okay, we can beat anybody in this tournament.
Listen, give us PSG. Give us Real Madrid. Okay, give us Bayern Munich. Give us all the big baddies. Okay. Owen is saying, Chris, who cares? Winning the group would have been huge, but this result is amazing. I get it, guys. You guys want me to be realistic, and that's not happening. All you knows, yes, AZ, you're on it. Okay. All you knows, you guys are gonna eat crow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, PSG is so overhyped. Ligue 1 is like one of the top 5 worst leagues.
MK, well, I wish I could go in, and I don't know if MK, this is the first time you join us or if you've been here before, but I wish that I can go back and see what you predicted the Porto result to be. I wish I could see what you predicted the Palmeiras result to be, because I am also 100% sure that you predict that we get our ass kicked in those games.
We want all the smoke, bro.
Absolutely.
We want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. Get out of here.
So, all right, we'll see. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. I completely threw you off.
No, listen, I was already here planning our takeover of the entire planet. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. I mean, we'll take out all the big baddies. Okay. All right. So there's some substitutions.
No, Chris. I didn't say that they would win. I said that I don't think they'll win.
No,
that guy over there.
What do you mean? I'm telling you that we're gonna go to the moon, bro.
And that's what people are saying. What the hell are you saying?
What do you mean? What am I saying? We're going to the moon. Look at the expectations for this tournament, Danny. People didn't expect us to get out of the group. People expected us to beat Auckland. That's what people expected us.
They did.
And we almost were the leaders of this group with 7 points. And you're telling me that it's too much for me to ask to go to the moon? Shout out to Rick A. Who else wants to believe with me? I mean, if you guys want to sit here and be like, we're going to get scored out by 10 goals, we're going to have a guest on, hopefully, unless you guys want us to get ChatGPT on here. But we're going to get a guest on, and I'm going to tell the guy from PSG from Paris, I'm going to tell him, we're going to kick your ass.
You know what's funny is that I watched that preview that you did last week with Gus from Brazil, and you predicted like, oh, we're gonna win 2-0, and I saw Gus's face like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
And
and for you, and I'm sure for you for a second, you were I could imagine. I was like, I'm gonna hit that intro button, and he's gonna add his prediction at the end of the intro. I'm almost 100% sure of it.
I was about to, but then it didn't happen. So I mean, okay, guys, you guys could think I'm drunk and that I'm high. Okay, guys, whatever. You guys suck. So, Danny, do I get to Luis Suarez's magic goal here?
Absolutely, go for it.
So he literally makes wine out of water. Okay, gets around players, pokes it all over the place.
He splits two defenders.
Yes.
Stumbles, and then somehow his knees stay intact enough to get to the defender's left. And I think the defender saw Messi on the top of the box and might have been playing it safe a little bit. And that's why just Messi's presence opens up space. And that's why I think that he was positioned the way he was. Suarez was able to beat him to the left, caught that ball on a bounce. If you look at the replay, he didn't even look up. He didn't even look up.
Oh no, that's class.
He knew where the goal was.
It's class.
And he fired it, hit the goalie's arm, and it was just a thing of beauty.
Bench, guys.
I really, after that goal, I was like, oh, we're gonna win the group. That's when I thought, let's win this group.
Yeah, shout out to all you guys that wanted him benched. You think Alan Obando's gonna do that? You think Alan Obando's gonna do all that and not look at the goal and blast it past the keeper?
We'll never know because he'll never play.
Come on.
We'll never know because he never plays.
Come on. Come on. And then Mike V saying Suarez turned on Unk strength. Absolutely. Owen saying Suarez was really good tonight. Yes, he was. He helped create a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It did things that you don't see often on the scoreboard. Shout out to the gentleman Wake for the super slam here. This is the first time Inter Miami CF exceeds my expectations, playing with house money. I can't be disappointed. Teams can be dangerous when there's no pressure.
Absolutely.
Shout out to you.
Sunday against PSG, it's house money. Like, absolutely no pressure on us. We're supposed to lose.
Yeah.
You play and you defend like you did today, hit a counter, get lucky, a little Messi magic, a free kick here. Who knows what could happen? I'm excited. I'm excited.
360C, shout out to you. First time we see you in the chat. Says, love Fafa, but he cost us tonight. That was a clear chance to seal the match.
I really thought that he was going to score on that. Where he received the ball, it was him and the goalie. And his first touch was just it just was sloppy. And it took him away from goal. But I really thought that we were going to score there.
And look, Duran WA is saying, is Messi okay? And then Mariela saying, I think Messi was not feeling well. There was a point in the second half where he was doing circles around opponents.
Messi was much more involved in the second half than in the first half.
Yes. So we go ahead, Danny.
No, go ahead.
No, so we score the goal, 65th minute. Immediately after, or even before the goal was scored, I think Jordi Alba was going to be, brought on. We lose out. Telasco Segovia comes out. Jordi Alba comes in. And to me, I felt like that was kind of a bad move because Segovia was playing extremely well in the middle, playing very well with Busquets and Messi.
But Jordi Alba has that class. I didn't think that was a bad sub.
I mean, he did, but then he's going to stretch out wider just naturally. That's kind of what he does. You got Segovia that is okay with moving it more towards the middle, and he's more comfortable in that space. But I don't know.
I thought our biggest loss was Redondo, as crazy as that may sound, because we've killed him
That
quite
is
a bit
kinda
on this
crazy.
show.
That is kind of
But
crazy.
I really thought that he was the biggest loss. Look, once he came off, all the goals were scored after the substitutions. No,
All the goals were scored after every single substitution, because after that,
look, once Redondo left the game and we had Kremaki and Fafa on, and when we had the ball, it was no longer hold possession, because I loved that we were taking the air out of the ball. We would hold possession, and it's like find the open man, one touch, tiki taka, and I thought Redondo was working beautifully with Busquets, Messi, everybody. I thought it was just a beautiful game plan. Once Redondo came off the pitch, and then you put in Fafa and Kremaki, you lost that the quality, that touch, and I felt like it was just vertical, direct passes up and then defend. And I felt like we didn't hold the ball. We didn't take the air out of the ball like we were doing before Redondo came off the pitch. And I think that's when things started to change. We stopped winning those second balls. We could not win a second ball for the life of us. Maybe we were gassed. Like, things just changed drastically after I saw Redondo come off.
Martini Jack is saying we didn't find shape after the subs. Yeah, people were all over the place.
Yeah. And
People
even then, those two goals, that first goal, I'm sorry, when you watch the replay in slow-mo, the guy, I forgot the guy's name, but he kicked it to the goalie to the right. And then Noah put his foot in, and then he poked it, and it went left. And that's no blame on Noah. Noah was playing the ball, but it's just bad luck. That wasn't a good goal. It was just luck. And at that point, 2-1, you're like, oh, crap. Like, this isn't good. And then they were on top of us. And when we got the ball, we weren't holding possession anymore. It was just like, let's try to counter, because we didn't have that quality in the midfield anymore.
Danny, we got a super slam by Portal Chaser here. Shout out to Portal Chaser.
Bang! Bang!
With a $2 super slam. Thank you for the support, guys. It's much appreciated. I feel like, look, the substitutions happened like this. Suarez came out. Kremaki came in at the 73rd minute. Kremaki played more on the right. He wasn't like a striker, because at that point, Allende was playing a little more up top. Redondo got injured. You could tell that he was cramping. Baltasar Rodriguez comes in.
Can we talk about Redondo a second? Because he cramped, and it looked like he asked for a sub. And then I don't know if he tried to play through it, or they told him that he couldn't be subbed out. And he kept running. He kept trying to play through. He actually received the ball and crossed it and tried to get to the center of the box. And I was like, okay, so I guess he's okay. And then 30 seconds later, he collapsed again. Like, I give it to him. He was trying to play through it.
I thought he was going to do well for this game in terms of the way that the game was panning out. I felt like it was comfortable for him.
And Juan is saying Saturday's B Squad versus Atlanta is going to be wild. That game's going to get rescheduled. I don't know for when, because it's a tight schedule with Leagues Cup and everything, but it's going to get rescheduled.
Oh, I was going to tell you, I can't wait till we do that episode. That episode when we talk about the schedule with all of the congestion and like where we're going to find that game. And that's going to be a mess. The calendar looked like a mess to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So after those substitutions happened, Redondo comes out. He's injured, 77th minute. Same minute, Tadeo Allende. Oh, nice one, Portal Chaser. Knockout rounds. Anything can happen. Miami for the win. This is the kind of energy I need, guys. This is the kind of stuff I need.
There's no more dangerous team than one that is playing with house money and they have nothing to lose. That's a dangerous side. And then you throw Messi on that team.
Forget about it.
Believe.
So, I mean, we had the substitutions. Redondo out. Baltasar and Tadeo Allende out. Fafa Picot comes in. At that point, how did you feel about the substitutions?
Like I said, when I saw that Kremaki and Fafa came in for Redondo, I felt like we were going to suffer in the midfield, and I think that's what happened. The midfield was no longer existent, and at that point, once we got the ball, it was very vertical passes. We couldn't build up anymore, which, I think for all the crap that people give Redondo, I think that he has quality on the ball. He can find the open man. He can hold the ball. And him and Segovia coming off, I think really hurt us.
So at that point, them coming off leads to Paulino.
And hold on, and Terry Allen here, for people that are criticizing the subs, if Fafa gets the bounce and the goal, all of a sudden, bam, Mascherano is a genius. And let's be real, because Fafa, we've said that when he comes in as a super sub, he always makes an impact. And generally, it's been a positive impact. Unfortunately, today he had that bad touch, didn't get the right bounce, ball got away from him, we didn't score. But generally, he's come up big when he's gotten the opportunities. And I mean, as a super sub, we've all say that. A lot of people say that they want Fafa to start. I would not say that Mascherano did a poor job with the substitutions today, because I thought they were good substitutions. Redondo, I wish would have stayed on, but that wasn't his choice. That was based off of injury.
And shout out to Christian with the CH here with the super slam. Says Messi's fairy tale story continues to amaze me. We're beating that demon club. It's written in the stars. To the moon, baby. Just hope Messi is fit. He didn't look good.
Yeah, and then and the road goes ever on. But Danny Mash should have left Suarez on longer. We needed the target man, and Suarez was having a great day. Yeah, I can see why you're saying that, but at that point, we weren't. I don't know. I'm okay with them subbing Suarez off. What minute did they sub him off? Suarez subbed off 74th minute. I'm okay with that. He was having a good game. If they would have kept him on, I wouldn't have questioned it. But I'm okay them subbing him off 74th minute. I don't think he would have made a big difference, honestly.
So we end up getting scored on by Paulinho. And that was, if I'm not mistaken,
that's the one that no got the toe poke.
But I don't think he got the toe poke. I don't.
You got a foot on it. He didn't poke it. He got a foot on it, but because he got the foot on it, it kind of went wide left. But what was his name? The one that
Paulinho.
Paulinho.
He
kicked it to the right, but Noah Allen got his foot on it, and then it went left. That was pure luck. Like that wasn't that wasn't Palmeiras all of a sudden creating a magical. It was luck.
Yeah.
It was luck that it deflected off of Noah Allen's foot and it went wide left. So at that point, I did worry, because all of a sudden it's just a one goal lead, and I know that our midfield is now on.
And not only that, but the midfield didn't have any continuity at that point. And Noah Allen's kind of trying to make up the space, because it looked like Falcon left a little bit of space more than we would have liked, right? And he had a really good game too, Falcon. The back line to me,
they had a good game, and Falcon has had a good tournament so far. The whole back line has had a good tournament so far.
And then Mauricio, he got a goal, 87th minute to tie it. And it wasn't even like they didn't do any building against us.
It was a poor clearance.
It was, but I mean, it wasn't something that tactically we suffered at. It was a rebound.
Yeah, and he blasted the hell out of the ball and caught everybody flat-footed. Ustari, I think, froze.
Soccer Daddy saying Swiss Army knife will be back versus PSG. Ooh, man.
For who? For Toto, I guess?
What do you mean? Yeah? Are you kidding me?
No,
Mascherano loves himself some Lujan Swiss Army knife.
No, I think everybody that's played in his place has been doing a good job. I can't imagine that he would do that.
Yeah, and one goal saying it. Yes, Noah and Maxi were incredible. Just two little bobbles in tie game. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, it was like to me, we were the better side.
Yes.
Our defense has had a good 3 games, and sometimes the ball bounces that way, unfortunately. And when you give up 2 goals and a possible win, it feels like a loss. But I mean, like I said, before this game starts, if I tell you we draw with Palmeiras, I think everybody takes that.
Well, Dennis Lopez is just begging, not Lujan. Anybody but Lujan. Danny, I think we should stop talking about the game and let's talk about some of the standouts and everything else.
Okay. Standout. I thought Noah Allen, the way he was playing through the pressure, because being as young as he is, playing against the caliber of Palmeiras, having the assignment of Esteval, which is probably one of the more dangerous plays in South America in a one-on-one situation.
1v1.
I thought Noah Allen had a standout game. I thought Falcon played well. Unfortunately, that clearance kind of kills it, but Falcon also had a good game. Toto Aviles, Chelo, the whole back line, I thought had a solid game. Redondo, I'm going to give Redondo flowers because I thought Redondo was vital to the whole holding the ball and possession with a purpose as we were building Allende, Segovia. I'm having a hard time thinking people like again, David said that there was no positives. Who had a poor game? There was one bad pass by Ustadi where he passed it to, I forgot if it was Falcon or Noah Allen, where he had a defender right on him.
It was Falcon that made the pass to Noah Allen. Noah Allen was up the pitch already, and that's when everything kind of went haywire, but luckily they didn't score. Shout out to Abdul Wasai for super sub. Says, I heard the prize money is 20 mil to qualify lot to second round. Is that true? That's what the commentators were saying.
No, it's in the first round it was 1 million for a draw, 2 million for a win. So far they've made $4 million off of the 2 draws and 1 win, and then you make 7.5 million for going on to the knockout rounds.
Yeah.
So at the moment they've made 11.5. Now, if you get a result in the knockout round, I'd have to go back and check what the money is for that. But as of right now, 11.5 mil just for making it to the knockout rounds.
So for me, standout, I'm gonna go with the 4 back line as well, because you decided to steal the whole back line. I might as well just sit with you.
And Soccer Daddy said 21 million earned so far. Maybe there's something that I must have missed. Oh, and then 10 million just for being in the tournament. Okay, my fault. So it's not just 11, it's 21. Okay, my fault. I go ahead.
Well, I mean, like I said, I was gonna go with the back line. I was gonna go. Listen, Toto had an opportunity to almost get another yellow card. He played very disciplined. He played very well. Watching him, I was like, this kid's gonna be so good when he gets like older. Players like Aviles and Noah Allen, the fact that they're so young. And when they get to their prime, they're going to be a problem.
You know what's crazy is that we're doing this, and a lot of people feel like Yannick Bryce probably like the 5th or 6th best player on our team, and he hasn't even been playing.
No, I mean, imagine Yannick
Jordi
Bright,
Alba hasn't been starting.
If Yannick Bright gets the opportunity to start again, and he plays back into shape 100%, it's a wrap for PSG. It's a wrap.
And then Xavier Penny's asking if the money goes towards a new striker. Unfortunately, because of
or does it go towards Beckham's hair gel and a new neck tattoo?
Unfortunately, because of the salary restrictions, I don't know if what we
it
would
might
do
go
with
to a
that money.
tattoo. It might be going to a tattoo.
All right, que pena. Any que pena awards to give out today.
He's a caca.
So, the que pena, in my opinion, I don't feel comfortable going after players on the pitch because I feel like everybody that started played really well. Like, I feel like this is the one game where we can go to the bench and find a que pena player.
I see somebody say Busquets. Busquets had 1 or 2 bad giveaways. Fafa, I guess, for not converting. Segovia, I didn't think Segovia had a bad game. Messi's a ductor, okay. Mascherano, I didn't think Mascherano had a bad game. No que pena, okay. Alba, I didn't think Alba.
What?
No, I can't think of anybody that had a poor performance today, honestly. I mean, I guess Fafa, because he had a chance to seal the deal. So I'm going to go with Fafa. So if you have to, I guess Fafa, but no, I think that I wouldn't give anybody a que pena award.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Fafa because Fafa had a chance to give us the comfortable lead.
I give the Que Pena award to every single commenter in our live chats that was predicting that we were going to get our ass kicked by every MLS team leading into this tournament. Remember, oh, we're going to lose to Columbus 5-0. We're going to lose to Chicago 10-0. And they had no belief. Everybody that wanted to fire. Everybody wanted to fire Mascherano. Everybody wanted to bench Suarez. Everybody that said any of those things, you guys get to kick it.
He's a caca.
My daughter said it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are all cacas for not believing. All right.
No.
I don't know about you guys, but I predicted this team to win it all. We're going to the moon. I told you guys.
And then Terry Allen saying, I am owners for not being supporters. Bringing supporters.
For bringing supporters. They're cacas too.
From what they said, it was due to the contract limitations, but supposedly we'll be getting somebody in the summer that people might be happy with. So we'll see.
So, man of the match other than Messi, Danny. Who's
Suarez.
getting... So, Suarez, you're going to count Suarez for sure.
I think so. I mean, he had the goal contribution for the first goal. I don't know if it counts as an assist, but, I mean, he was the one that started that off with that chest pass. The way that he basically created that whole second goal. I know that he had a chance. He should have had another goal in the first half from that pass from Segovia. But yeah, Suarez had himself a good game. He was creating. He was playing wide often. He was switching off with Segovia and Allende going out wide. I thought that he played a good game. So I'll give it to Suarez. I see somebody put Uftari, which had a big save also.
How many of these people that put Suarez wanted Alan Obando to start?
I wish there was a way to go back and check this stuff.
I want to know how many of you wanted Obando to start, guys. How many of you wanted him to take his starting position?
Allende is another good one, I guess, right? Because he had that big goal.
I'm going to go with Allende because he helped stretch the field in a way that a lot of the other players didn't. You still want him benched? Mike V, we don't have Campana.
You have to be careful with Mike V, though. His Ecuadorian is showing. He wants Obando to start because Obando's Ecuadorian.
I get it. Come on. So I'm going to give it to Allende. Because he started us off with the goal. He stretched the field, made line-breaking runs better than anybody else were making. So I'm going to go with Allende, guys.
I don't know how many people are going to be with us this late into the show, but we did want to ask a question because I was about to say that we're going to preview in PSG this week, but we've had
I got the comment if you want me to bring it. If you want me to bring it up.
Ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'll go ahead and bring it up, guys. For those of you that are interested in a preview this week, so we got a comment up on one of our videos last week saying, this is from Rico de la Vega, saying, have you two considered doing just analysis videos with a guest or not, but with no chat and capping it at 30 minutes? You'll probably get a lot of views on those replays. Replay.
We were wondering if you guys rather us do previews shorter, because I mean we love the chat, but the chat does make us run the show longer, obviously, because we interact with you guys a lot. And then we also had a couple people say that they wish that we would just talk more football and less gas bagging. So you know, we just wanted to open it up to everybody. If anybody's watching it not live, just let us know what you guys think, because you know we want to listen. So yeah.
My question to you guys is, do you like the fact that we get people from Egypt and Jamaica, or I could just go on ChatGPT real quick and Google and look up stats and give you guys, you know, stats and stuff?
Yeah.
You let us know. I mean, people say boo for no life.
Yeah, we're just curious because we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary next week. Actually, we hit our 3-year anniversary, so this is around the time that Chris and I start talking about what things we can change for the upcoming year. And so we figured that we'd bring this up because if you guys want different stuff, I know this is our decision. Somebody put it's your decision. Absolutely, it's our decision technically, but we want to hear what you guys want also. But we figured that getting the guests from like we and especially Chris is a real stickler for like, hey, if we're gonna get a Paris guest, I want it to be somebody that's sitting outside their balcony with the Eiffel Tower in the back. Like he wants somebody from Paris. So we go in and we take our time looking for these guests. It's not as easy as it may sound. So but if you guys want it to just us, just go ahead and just preview the game without a guest. We could do that also.
Okay, well, Soccer Daddy's saying no silly question. Because, I mean, just let us know if you guys don't want the guest. And we could just pre-record this. And we don't have to waste days of our week looking for a guy in Egypt. And hoping that he's, like, live casting by a pyramid or something.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're going. I'm going to go right after and look for someone in Paris that will live stream from the Eiffel Tower.
All right. And the road goes on, says it depends on how important the views are for you. Look, absolutely. We know that shorter means more views. That's why we try to keep these shows to an hour. We know the shorter the show.
Yeah, absolutely. The shorter the show, the easier it is to consume. And you know what? We might do this, Dennis. I'll call Zinedine Zidane. Bring him on the show.
And Kevin Coss says live guests and more Solana. Don't worry, more Solana. You'll be getting more Solana soon.
Nice.
Yeah. All right.
Who's PSG INT?
I don't know, but I guess that's something you might want to write down so we could. I'm gonna text that name to you right now so we don't forget it.
Wait, but then Soccer Daddy's saying I hate PSG INT.
That's even more reason to get them. I love getting people that I don't know if you guys have realized this, but I love getting the reason we had Solana on is because I couldn't stand them. Like we had Tack Manager because I used to like if I find him annoying, I find people don't like them or find them annoying, I want them on the show because I want to talk to them. PSGINT is kind of racist. Okay, well, we have to look into him.
Okay, then. All right, let's not do that then. Yeah, that sounds like we're not doing that.
We'll look into it.
Right.
And then
is it gonna be like Pedri Potter? Because we could do Pedri Potter kind of stuff.
PSGINT will beat Tommy ATL. Okay, well, we'll see, but we'll be looking into it and make sure that you have that notification button on YouTube so you know whenever we come on. Make sure you follow us on the social media so we give it a heads up when we're going to come on. And yeah. And then Alex is saying that Solana is way biased. I love debating with Solana. That's why I like having him on here because I hate his takes. So I love arguing with him because I hate every single word that comes out of Solana's mouth. I honestly think I hate every single word that comes out of his mouth. But that's why I love having him on the show. So, yeah. All right, Chris, I think all right, we're now over an hour from the disappointment of losing the win. How are we feeling before we get to our final thoughts? How are you now feeling?
I think sitting in this podcast for the last minute and change, I'm feeling a little better. I felt really terrible in the beginning, but I'm feeling a lot better now. So we made it past the group. We're moving on to the next round. We're going to talk to a guy at the Eiffel Tower, at the top of it. I think we're good. I think we're okay.
How about it, guys? A commentator from Marseille, France. If they have, I mean, we also look for people that know. But we also look for people that are knowledgeable on the team. I don't want just somebody that doesn't follow PSG. We want somebody that's knowledgeable.
And possibly at the Eiffel Tower.
PSGINT wanted his team to play into. I think that this PSGINT person seems like they're an interesting person. We're gonna have to look into this. And real quick, if somebody tell me if PSGINT, are they located in France? Are they in the United States? Do they speak English? Just let us. I'm assuming they speak English because so many people are
Yeah,
I guess, know him. But
I am.
let us know where he's located.
What?
All right,
Anonymous M says PSGINT is a shit house. Get him on. Booked. That's it.
all right, Chris, any final thoughts?
No, that's it, Danny. Like I said, in the beginning, I felt like a disaster. Now, after being with our people here tonight, I feel good. We made it out the group, and we're gonna have a podcast with the guy in the Eiffel Tower.
I don't know. The people keep talking about PSGINT talks a lot of crap. Oh man, I don't know.
We'll figure it out after. We'll do the backstage stuff later.
All right. All right. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. When our next show is going to be, I'm not sure. I'm sure we're going to be doing a lot of shows this week because it's a fun week. PSGINT _Twitter account. Okay. And yeah, for those of you in the chat, appreciate you hanging out with us. It should be a fun week. So, like I said, keep that notification bell on and follow us on socials because we'll be coming on a lot more this week. So, until the next one, have a good one.